What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of YLB. Hey, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Hey,
That part we didn't rehearse. But
yeah, we didn't. But not bad. Because some people got initiative.
Yeah. That means they are longer listeners than
That's right. But so this is for those of you listening or watching. This is our second live show of the year.
Yeah.
And it is episode 600.
Episode 600, man.
600. How does it feel, man, to reach 600?
I mean, it makes me feel older. I feel old. Yeah.
Have you done anything else like 600 times in your life?
Probably better not mention. Yeah, you will think I'm some BBFA on like Hardware Zone or something like that.
No, so what does BBFA stand for the less informed?
Who doesn't know what BBFA is? Show of hands here. Okay, we see about maybe half of the room doesn't know.
Yeah.
It means pui pui, forever alone.
Okay.
Which means, pui pui, like a bit fat, forever alone, no girlfriend.
I see. And that term is like common in the forums.
Yeah. If you go through Sammy Boy and Hardware Zone, places where scholars hang out, that's what happens. Yeah.
Basically our research before every podcast.
Yes.
So it is the 600th episode. I think, since 2020. We have some listeners here who have been listening since 2020 when we first started.
The crazy thing is everyone says, I listened to you since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's like their favorite memory of COVID is like listening to YLB.
Or maybe it just brings back dark memories.
Dark memories of COVID.
Because, so we hit episode 500 in like March or April. So 600 December. So every like 9 months.
Yeah.
So essentially in 2027, we will reach 1,000.
Oh, you did the calculation?
I did somewhat of a calculation.
Engineer?
YLB 1,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in 2027.
Oh, what are you going to do then, man?
I mean, who knows, man? 700 will come next year, maybe 800.
Yeah. But 600 is something to celebrate. I think for those listening at home, we have like 60 strong, an audience of 60 strong here.
Yeah.
And, we're all here just before the cusp of SG60 as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very big milestone.
And I think we have maxed out the place. I don't think we can fit that many more people inside.
Correct. Yeah. I hope you all are as comfortable, because we're going to be talking about a topic of like even like Lawrence Wong and things like that, And remember when Lawrence Wong became Prime Minister, how everyone was sandwiched together at his ceremony, at the Istana. The Istana,
sweating as well.
Yeah. So we wanted to recreate that environment here with a bit of aircon added. So tell us if it's not as fun as that one.
Yeah. And I mean, that happened this year, which is kind of like the theme of what we're going to be talking about. Like, we're going to be reviewing the most or the hottest topic for the past year based on our own research. Okay, there's no polls we did. It is just based on the view count and listen count on our episodes.
It's a milestone because we used to have to rely on Google Trends or Straits Times to write some article. But now nobody trusts the media, right?
Yeah.
So we trust ourselves. We trust our own data, our own YLB data, right?
Yeah. Because we didn't check Google Trends at all.
We didn't. We didn't
check. So everything you see is going to be based on like what you guys listen to, and then we're just going to recap because a lot of things have changed since those episodes came out. I guess we can start.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, man.
Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Wait, why is there a beeping? Oh. Is to recreate the heat? Is it even more? Okay, cool. Okay.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
We're just trying to figure out the technical issues with the space, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we all know that's Mark because just now he had to say his name. Then there was another Mark. Is there, by a chance, a third Mark in the crowd? Oh, no, I was wondering. That was an awkward coincidence that there was two Marks.
Yeah.
But yes, shall we begin?
Oh.
Whoa. I guess that's the beauty of a live show.
Yeah.
For those of you listening and watching, gentleman just spilled a glass in the corner.
Yeah.
And that's what is nice about like doing a live show.
The good thing is that he also owns the place, so he knows where the mop is.
That's true.
I think he's on his way to get it right now. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, then he should know how the place is like.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Mark, can we continue, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mark. Okay, cool. So we can start the countdown. And basically, this is number 10 in terms of the most listened or watched episodes. So, Don, can we get your help to reveal what is number 10?
Number
Alright.
10, right here.
It's episode 515.
Yes.
Where we were talking about Lawrence Wong becoming PM and companies adhering to flexible work requests.
Yeah.
So this is the episode after Lawrence Wong became PM.
Correct. It was actually the episode where we reviewed the Prime Minister, that whole ceremony when he came to power, right?
Yeah.
And we were making observations of how people are sitting and things like that.
Yeah.
But what was significant about it that made you want to even talk about it?
The fact that he became PM.
Okay.
I mean, he's the first PM that grew up in a time where, what was that thing special about him?
After 1965, so he's only ever sang one national anthem.
Oh yes, correct.
That's right. But I remember when we were recording this episode, I was very surprised at how excited you were about Lawrence Wong. And if you go back and listen to it, Harish was really like...
I was?
Yeah. You hook, line and sinker. You bought into his speeches, the way he talks, his Taylor Swift guitar playing skills, you know.
Hey, fuck! Everything. I hate the guitar playing. Okay? No, don't try and miscast me. Like, I sounded visibly, like audibly excited.
You were excited. So because we record so many episodes, when I go back to listen to these episodes, I'm like, whoa! I didn't realize I said such a thing, or Harish thought of this. So that shocked me about this episode. That you were so positive about it.
And what was your royal sentiment?
I was more fixated on the fact that there were so many Lee Hsien Loong tributes. It was almost like something had happened to him. But actually, there were just so many tributes about Lee Hsien Loong, before and after this thing. And that's what shocked me about the whole sequence of events.
So do you remember what I was excited about?
Lawrence Wong.
I know, but what about him lah?
Just
his
promise,
demeanor and all, is it?
The promise for the future, and I think we were also talking about how historic this whole handover of the Prime Minister thing was, where I think we had never experienced it before. I don't know if anybody in the audience has experienced another handover like that before. Yeah, so it's quite a rare thing, like what Don was saying about exchanging underwear.
Yeah. So how have your sentiments about Lawrence Wong evolved?
I mean, not much. If you listen to what I said earlier, I was still a bit cautious. I think you were the one who was all in.
Yes. We have established that. Okay, I'm asking about now.
For now? Yeah. Still about the same. Yeah, I wouldn't say...
And how would you say my sentiments have evolved?
Hopefully you've come on board and been a bit more cynical like me.
No, I really think I was cynical at the start. Maybe I would say that his starting point was a bit more... there's a sense of optimism. Optimism.
Correct.
Yeah. And even now, I would say once in a while, there's a sense of optimism, but I don't know, the feeling has waned a bit.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And some of the topics we talk about later will maybe explain why your feelings were
correct. Right? And I mean, another thing that we were talking about was the companies with the flexible request, right?
Correct, yeah.
Do you know why it's so relevant that we're doing this episode now?
Because I think in December, Grab officially has forced everyone to go back to the office, right?
No, actually, this kicks in on 1st December.
But you're talking about the government mandating that, not mandating, but saying that companies need to offer flexi work arrangements, right? As options for employees, right?
Yeah. So to recount, I'm guessing maybe some of you all also have experienced this at your workplace. 1st December this year, every company must have a process for people to ask for flexible work arrangements.
Yeah, but not compulsory, not compulsory. So don't go back to your boss and, hey, I heard from Yala, but December, you got to give me flexi work.
Yeah, you have to put in a request and all they are subject to is to reply within 2 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you dig deep, right, so there's a whole new tripartite guidelines for flexible work arrangements requests known as the TG4.
Yeah.
There's a whole website on it. And if you go down, right, they are actually super prescriptive because they talk about all these things. I think it's basically if my mom was a boss of a company, right, and didn't know how to Google, this is meant to replace that. Because they go down to explaining the different types of work arrangements you can have, the different ways of balancing work life. There's a possible idea of a fruits day at work. You know what's fruits day?
What's that?
It's a day where, as an employer, you give fruits to your employees to encourage them to have a healthy lifestyle.
Oh,
so the website goes down to that detail now. So if you're working for someone who needs to read those details, either they're a bit out of touch or... I mean, in some ways, do you think that's a good idea to have something that detailed?
I think there needs to be because... since this was announced in April, a lot of companies, like I mentioned, like Grab and all, have come forward and mandated 5-day work weeks.
Yeah.
So there needs to be something in place to encourage people.
And I think it's good because technically you can go to your boss and say, where's my fruits? No, give me my damn fruits. Yeah.
At least they're not forcing you to do the Great Singapore Workout, lah, right? Healthy
Oh
lifestyle.
yeah, last time there was that thing, right? No, but I remember when we were recording the episode, I thought that December was a bad time to have this implemented.
Oh, yeah.
But I think now actually my opinion shifted about that also.
Okay.
Because if you think about December, like I'm guessing everybody here is, your work is kind of slowed down a bit. Singapore's a bit festive. Once in a while it's fucking hot, but generally it's quite cool and wintry, right? And I would think that, if you want to submit a request 2 months down the road, February it kicks in, maybe now is not a bad time.
Yeah, December, everyone's more chill, right?
Yeah. But as a boss, if you get like, fucking, this person wants to work 3 days a week at home, a bit hard.
You just buy the chop, that chop that just says reject.
Friday night work reject. So that was a 10th most talked about episode.
Yeah. And leading up to number 9, I think is also another very hot topic. Can we see what number 9 is? Number 9, the deal is off. Episode 577. This was from October when the government blocked the Income Alliance deal from going through. Big topic for the year, right? I think you mentioned it's one of the biggest shocks for you this year.
I mean, if you look, normally we have 2 topics per podcast.
Correct.
This is just one.
Actually, we did have 2 topics for this podcast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think just the caption didn't include in there.
I mean, for the record, I prepared the slides.
Yeah, you prepared
That's why Terence had to say that. You could have just said, no, it's just one topic. Then what was the second topic?
The second topic was about, remember Simu Liu and bubble tea? Right? You guys know? Remember that issue? Simu Liu, the actor Shang-Chi, he called out a Canadian bubble tea maker for whitewashing bubble tea and selling it as a product called boba. Because there was a couple of French Canadians. Yeah. So that was also quite a big discussion point. But talking about Income Alliance, right.
I mean, that means we need to update our YouTube title because I think this was taken from YouTube.
Okay, so you're throwing Tristan under the bus.
Oh, no. Because normally the titles at this time were written by you.
Oh yeah, you're right. We trace it all the way. Yeah. Sure,
you want to play ball?
Sure, okay. Sure.
So, I mean, I know for this, right, if you had not been listening or if you're a new listener, when we first talked about the NTUC income being the Allianz deal, what it was, we got Tan Kin Lian on to talk about it. I think our opinions, or at least my opinion, was a bit ambiguous. But by the time we reached this, I think we were both kind of pissed.
Quite.
Yeah.
Quite confused, right? Like how something like that could just go through so quickly.
But why confused? Because I don't know if everybody here is clued into the details about like what pissed us off so much. So what pissed you off?
It's just that when they brought it up in Parliament, it seemed like a lot of the rhetoric or the language around it seemed like it was a done deal. Like there wasn't going to be any more debate about it. This is what it is, right? And yeah, I mean, we've been proven otherwise, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's a bigger shock because, I mean, it's clear, it feels like they fucked up some way. Because the momentum was all going one way, then suddenly blocked. And of course, Edwin Tong is the guy who's like, just come and throw the smack down.
Yeah.
Because this is like Edwin Tong's year.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the year of Tong Tong. Right?
Yeah, it's the year of Tong Tong because he did Taylor Swift.
Yes.
What else?
Coldplay.
Ed
Sheeran.
Did he meet the Pope?
Yes, he met the Pope. Max Mader. I mean,
Max Mader.
He groomed Max Mader, from the start. I mean it. That's a good way. There's literally a video of Edwin Tong meeting Max Mader when he was 15 years old in his office. Yeah, so he groomed him for sports stardom, not for what you guys are thinking.
Maybe Edwin Tong is having his own end of year. Here are the top 10 things I did this year.
He's got a list, right?
He's got a list. Yeah, so and the second topic about Simu Liu, I mean, like as a fan of bubble tea, right? Is there any lingering thoughts about it?
I mean, it's just whether it's cultural appropriation, and I think we discussed whether, like, say, a Chinese Singaporean, what if a Chinese Singaporean hawker cooks biryani? Like, is that cultural appropriation, right? And what was your answer to that?
I said no. Yeah, and I know you're a fan of Chinese cooked Indian biryani.
I'm the fan of a Chinese guy who cooks biryani. Not necessarily that
you only eat biryani cooked by Chinese people.
Words are very important.
So just now when we played the Indian remake of Appata.
Yes, I was very offended Yeah.
Wasn't it your idea?
No, it was just a parody of what Lawrence Wong did at the PAP conference.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was the first version of Appata that Tristan heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're introducing.
So you heard that before the real one.
Wow, we're introducing like awesome music to Gen Z.
And cultural appropriation to Gen Zs.
Yeah. But is he quite a... I mean, Simu Liu has appeared... I mean, he's been a talking point on our podcast so many times. I'm quite offended that when he came to Singapore, he hung out at iShowSpeed and didn't even like try to get on our podcast or something, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I heard that he was pissed at iShowSpeed because iShowSpeed was late by 3 hours. He was late by 3 hours. They were supposed to meet at Sentosa and bungee jump together. So Simu Liu was just waiting there for 3 hours.
Oh, man.
I don't think he was drinking bubble tea or anything.
But yeah, next time, if enough people tag him and everything, maybe Simu Liu should come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But okay, cool. Now we can move on to number 8. Yeah, so it's episode 518 when Shanmugam rebuts the sneering from The Economist and some Singaporean workers complaining about no remote work as a mandatory requirement. Yeah. So I mean, this was a Facebook post that Minister Shan put in response to an Economist article that was kind of commenting about Singapore and how we've only had 4 PMs in 59 years. And I mean, he was a bit salty. And he was kind of like petty in rebutting and saying, they can't stand the commentariat class doing better than them and how Singapore is better than them in every way. It was a bit salty.
Yeah, that's right. And then he basically dragged the whole of the UK into the discussion, right?
Yeah.
He called out a lot about the UK's social system and everything and compared it to Singapore. And I think I was quite shocked that suddenly there's this diplomatic crisis between Singapore and UK because of a Shanmugam Facebook post.
Yeah. But I mean, were you surprised that Shanmugam even made a Facebook post about this?
I think he's the one who invited Richard Branson to come and debate here, right? Yeah. So I think he's got an axe to grind with people from the UK.
I mean, how often do you ever get on Facebook?
Me?
Yeah.
Whenever one of them writes a post like that. Yeah.
That's true, because every time I get on Facebook, it's a whole different world. No? If you all haven't gotten on Facebook for a while, right, just get on. You would see posts from people you haven't got in touch with for a few years, and they might be at a very different state of life. They might be doing some crazy shit. And you just see, because I think now everybody is used on Instagram, you just see photos or reels. LinkedIn is just people humble bragging about how humble they are. TikTok is just mindless bullshit. Facebook, right, is like everything. No? Yeah. And it's so damn weird. Whenever posts like this come up, it's just a walk down memory lane.
But haven't people graduated from Facebook to LinkedIn already? Like LinkedIn is now, all the cringe is on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Facebook actually now is more heartfelt. I feel like people write about family or things they're really pissed off about. Whereas LinkedIn is like, wow, they just keep bragging nonstop. I can't stand it.
Oh, that's true. Authenticity has returned to Facebook.
Returned to Facebook. Because no one hangs out there anymore.
And it's the people who really have no agenda except from like expressing themselves.
Correct.
But you don't use LinkedIn, right?
I don't. Yeah. That's why it's so cringy. I can't take it.
Yeah, but I keep telling you have to do it too. Because there's some benefit to LinkedIn. You just have to curate your feed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You took the time to sit down and curate your feed.
No, whenever I see a post that fucking pisses me off, I'll just mute.
Oh, but then I have to mute everything because everything pisses me off.
Don't mute mine lah. No, but it really is. And I'm guessing anyone here who uses LinkedIn, you really have to curate, because some people are just blow my mind about how humble braggy they can be.
That's right.
And then some people are good at it but or good at writing LinkedIn posts, but most of it is like cringe .
Yeah, correct.
Yeah
but the other topic here also was about Singapore workers not wanting to work from the office, right?
Yeah.
It seems like a very common theme among Singaporeans, always talking about, I don't want to go back to office, I don't want to go back to office, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I think there's a certain, it's almost now the expectation is that remote work first and only office is like a one-off as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, we talked about the big tech taking away the perks, right?
Yeah.
Once people have perks, it's harder to take it away from them.
Yeah. And this one, I think, was literally a survey. I think 2/3 of workers said they would quit if they were required to go back to office.
Yeah.
Right?
But what age group, do you remember?
I can't remember, but it was just quite an overwhelming number.
Yeah. I mean, half the crowd here came from work, so clearly they're not working from home.
Okay.
But we did also decide to do this on a Thursday because Friday people might not be working from office.
Yeah, correct.
But are you a supporter of like remote first work, remote only work?
Remote only.
Remote only.
there is still something to just being face to face with people. Like we are here now, right?
Yeah.
A bit different. There's something about that, but maybe not every day, right?
Yeah.
I think every day also a bit.
Can you imagine if we did our 3 times a week podcast in front of a crowd?
Actually, why not? It'd be awesome if we have an audience.
No, but okay, how would you say recording in front of a crowd is different from a studio?
The studio we can fuck up a lot, right? And
Yeah.
it's fine. Here we can't really because everyone's here. My wife is watching me also, so
you can sense the eyeballs burning into the side of the head.
yeah. We have to be a bit more, okay.
Yeah, your wife is sitting quite close to my wife, so
correct,
similar direction.
Sharing notes. Yeah, but that we're as authentic as we can be here,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm guessing for you guys listening also, live is a different experience. But I mean, if you were in our studio, it'd be pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just Tristan, Dom, and Don have a live show every 3 days.
That's right.
Every 3 days. So, and you can stay back and ask them, how it feels like. They might wish otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's about remote work.
Okay. And now, episode number 7. Let's see what it is.
This is a highlight of the year
episode
for us.
542. Yalabat mentioned in Parliament. Anyone who doesn't know about what happened to us in Parliament? Okay.
You're coming to...
We've got 3... No, not just in 3 hands. 3 hands.
3 hands. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to just give a TLDR of what happened?
So we had the opposition MP, Leong Man Wai, on our podcast. And I mean, we had been to Parliament, right? And we strongly recommend everybody just sit in on Parliament at least once in your life. And when we went there, we noticed that whenever the speaker, opens the floor to questions, Leong Man Wai is the first person to put his hand up. Like he's like a eager beaver, the apple of the teacher's eye, just wanting to ask the questions. And I mean, anecdotally, he doesn't always get picked. Because I mean, if he puts up his hand every time, it'll be you can't pick him all the time. So when he came on our podcast, we were just talking. We're like, we've been wanting to get you on our podcast for a long time because we went to Parliament and you're always the first to put up your hand, And then he jokingly said, what did he say?
And the last to be called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we laughed and then we moved on. But then after the podcast came out a month later, I think we heard some rumblings. Right.
We heard rumblings that something related to us will be mentioned in Parliament.
And then someone is pissed. So someone is pissed. And then a month after that, I think it was early June, we heard rumblings that, it's going to be discussed in Parliament. And we were like, oh shit, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, what did he say?
Yeah, what did he say? And I remember, I think Parliament started at 12 p.m. And I think you said you were going to watch it and keep track of when they're going to be announced.
Yeah.
And by 12:03, you're like, holy shit, just go listen now.
Yeah.
And why?
Because the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Shiok Thing, called out Leong Man Wai for that particular joke.
Yeah.
And in the act of calling him out, he had, I think by protocol, he has to name what platform it was. So he said on the podcast, Yalabat. with Harish, Tilani,
Mr. Harish,
and
Mr. Terence Chia.
Mr. Terence Chia. So, and that was all recorded in the Hansard as part of Parliament. So I know forever, 100 years later, when we're doing SG 200 or SG 160, you can go back to Hansard and find Yalabat inside there. It's on official record forever.
No, and it was the first 15 minutes of Parliament, which objectively is a fucking stupid waste of time given that Parliament is already so long. But it was great because when you look at the video, you can see all the big wigs, Lee Hsien Loong, Pritam, Shanmugam, all sitting there as he says, Mr. Harish said this. And then, Mr. Leong said this. Mr. Terence said this. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I even screen recorded the video on CNA so that it's never scrubbed and we have it for eternity.
In some way, it means that the whole Parliament has listened to Yalabat. Right. For fact.
Yeah, because he basically reenacted the whole conversation.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't doing impressions of you.
That was the most boring uttering of Yalabat I've ever heard. It was almost like he couldn't understand what the name was or whether there was a typo.
So I'm sure your mother and everyone heard about it as well.
My mom, first thing she said, you better say sorry. I don't know why. I'm guessing a lot of people can relate. If you have parents of that generation who were in Singapore when, it was a fishing village and they saw Singapore come up and they're like, don't ever say bad shit about anything about the government. So the moment we were mentioned in Parliament, it was immediately a bad sign. It's one of the highlights of the year for me.
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, it was a very surreal thing.
Yeah.
But I was just asking my mother because it was there was also a side of me that's like, I'm not sure if I should celebrate this. It was not the kind of thing you post on LinkedIn and like, whoa, thumbs up, fantastic.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. That's why I'm not on LinkedIn, you see. That's why I'm not on LinkedIn. Because I have self-awareness.
I of course humble bragged it. I think what I said was like, oh my, can't believe the first time Yalabat is mentioned in Parliament is this. Then like the confused face.
Oh, yeah. I did that for Instagram. Like I will post it, then I'll just put the emoji. And leave it to people to interpret whether I'm happy or scared or what.
And then I screenshot a lot with the article and all. Quite a lot of traction.
Exciting period, I would say. I can't say it's happy or what.
Do you play for your son?
He doesn't watch parliamentary proceedings, not at his age. Not yet. Soon, yeah. One day.
But I mean that was great. I mean, on a related note, the Friends of PAP lah.
Yeah, the biggest friend zone group of people in politics, right?
Yeah. And I mean, for context, there was a Friends of PAP event middle of the year. And they got a bunch of influencers to come. And I thought it was a new thing, but Friends of the PAP has been around since 2002.
Yeah.
And it was a thing that Goh Chok Tong started.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting because if you're, we're leading up to the elections now, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's speculating who are the new people PAP going to introduce and all that. So actually you analyze those Friends of PAP, those videos that they put on Instagram and everything, you'll see some familiar faces that, who knows, they might be running for parliament soon, right?
But I still think Friends of the PAP is like what you said, they're friend zone. They will never get in bed with the PAP. These are just friends that...
They are in bed already, right?
But it's like the orbiters,
No, not friends with benefits.
You've never been an orbiter or kena friend zone before.
Got of course lah.
Yeah, so you know
but
what
I think you got more experience than
unfortunately,
so familiar.
It's a dark history lah. Was that
random air horn?
Air horn celebrating my friend zone history lah. But as a friend zone, you have hope of getting in bed, but it'll never happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you get certain benefits of being a friend lah, right?
It gives you hope lah.
Okay, hope.
But you don't actually get the benefit you want.
Yeah. But hope is more important than anything.
But after a while, where you're clinging on to false hope, it's just very tiring lah.
I think you just got sour grapes because you're not a friend of PAP lah, right? That's why we're talking about it inside.
Yeah. I mean, people get like, they go for F1 and all that. Our highlight of an event to go to is the Pritam trial at the state court.
Yeah, that was us.
That was us. But I mean, Friends of PAP as a thing, I don't know how you all feel about it. Like, it feels a bit, it's just the name lah. I think it's a horrible name.
Everyone here are friends of Yalabat, right?
Oh, that's true.
That's why we decided to name everyone Friends of Yalabat.
Yeah, all kena friend zone already lah. Friends of Yalabat.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now we can hit the halfway mark with the sixth most listened to episode, and that is everything politics.
Yeah. Why?
It is episode 579, Lee Hsien Yang as a political refugee and Trump works at McDonald's. So the last update on Lee Hsien Yang was in August, right? He was granted asylum in the UK.
Yeah.
Supposedly hasn't been verified yet.
Yeah.
And since then, pretty silent.
Pretty quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a bunch of things that happened in the Lee family.
Yeah.
Which actually we don't really talk that much about, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the fun fact is that when we were doing Ministry of Funny, the YouTube channel, we even created a whole video about Oxley Road.
Mixing up the houses.
Oxley Road. We created a whole video about it, about how we were so sick of talking about Oxley Road.
Yeah.
But I think by the time we finished the video, or close to finishing the video, we were so sick about Oxley Road, we didn't even release the video already.
So we still have that raw footage, no?
Yeah.
Where we went in the vicinity of around Oxley Road, and I think we recorded on the street, stuff like that. And that was way back. And then there was that 100-page PDF about Oxley Road got released in Parliament. Then we got sick of that again. And then now this.
Yeah.
But you said there were developments in the Lee family. What happened since then?
I mean, there was a passing in the family, Lee Wei Ling.
Oh,
right?
yes. Yeah.
And then there was a bit of the whole fiasco around the funeral or the wake.
Yeah.
So, a lot of angry opinions online about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, just now even when Don was saying like the Economist article was talking about the Lee family experience, it just feels so weird that, you hear, like, okay, you have friends in family businesses, right? I really cannot imagine if you're working in a company that your mom and dad work at. But this is, as a political leader, it blows my mind. Like, it's like a different world.
Yeah, that's right. It is. That's why That's why we're not part of that world, right?
That's why we're not friends.
We're not friends.
We're not friends of PAP. Yeah.
We're very far removed from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second topic also has had a lot of development since then. This was pre-Trump.
Yeah, and I it's crazy that, we talk about this. If you listen to us talk about this, I don't think anyone was expecting the result as how it was, right? How quite overwhelmingly America chose Trump, right?
Yeah.
And this, to me, then I realized that this point of him working at McDonald's was like maybe a point where people started to realize, hey, Trump has a lot of momentum in the whole race.
Yeah.
Was it very significant for you when you...
No, I felt this was like he was peak being ridiculed by, I guess, the people who hate him.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it contributed to his momentum.
Yeah.
But
I mean, hopefully, when he becomes president, he'll come to like McDonald's in Singapore at some point and serve like free curry sauce for everyone. Right?
If they're not free.
Not free. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He will come. He will come because he comes. Everyone gets free curry sauce.
Oh, right? Free curry sauce.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about his presidency? Kicking in January.
Well, that's a whole podcast by itself, right?
I mean, just how you feel, Terence.
Nothing. Everyone's just, I think, holding their breath to wait to see when he and Elon Musk are going to fall out.
Yeah,
they're gonna. Right now, they're best buddies, but at some point, they're going to start fighting, right?
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, I would say I'm just curious how it's going to happen. That's why next year is going to be damn exciting. And hopefully it'll be exciting for the podcast also.
Yeah.
Because as we have revealed, we talk about politics a lot. People like the political aspect of it, even though I don't think we ever set out to be that political.
Yeah, we didn't.
We just fell into it. But next year, there's the Trump becoming president. There's our own elections. Definitely by next year. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, exciting period.
Yeah. The hope is still to get Lawrence Wong on our podcast.
I hope so. Yeah. Hopefully he's listening to this.
Yeah, but that is our 10th to 6th episode. So now it is the time for, as this slide clearly communicates,
fan service.
So for those listening and watching, before the podcast, we had to fight off everybody wanting to be on the podcast.
Legions.
And we narrowed it down to one gentleman who fought through the masses and won his spot on Yalabat for 5 minutes. A strict 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, can everybody give a round of applause to Slash? All right.
So you just grab the microphone and you just come and stand in the middle. Yeah. Stand in the middle. Wow, he's like super tall. Yeah. Okay, but cool. It's cool, right?
We have to get a bit cozier. Do you mind just...
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. What's up? So, tell us again. Your name is?
I'm Shosh.
And you are, how old are you right now?
I am 26.
Oh, 26. Wow, nice and young. And so part of Gen
Z, that's right. That's
creepy,
right. You have me locked in.
What the hell says that?
when you get to a certain age, you just appreciate.
You mean if you meet some random person like your kid's nephew or something? Oh, 7. That's nice and young.
I'm very comfortable with like how I speak to young people and all.
I see. Okay. Because you're
no designs. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So you said you've been listening to Yalabat for how long?
Just a couple of months. So I actually live in London. And this is, I've been listening to podcasts on my walk into my university. And so recently discovered Yalabat.
Oh, so you're studying in London?
I'm doing a PhD.
Oh, shit.
In what?
In quantum computing.
Whoa!
Oh, shit!
Then why are you listening to us? What do we bring? What value do we bring to your life as a PhD?
The common man.
Just to stay connected, with what's happening in Singapore, because I'm in London. I just do my work there.
Can you describe quantum computing in one line?
Yeah.
No.
Because Justin Trudeau could do it, apparently.
Yeah, it's a new paradigm of computing. Change the bits to quantum bits, and you get faster computers.
Nice.
Okay, I'm lost already. That's why we just talk and we don't study quantum.
But how
maybe get me on the show and we could do an hour about quantum computing.
Give this guy 5 minutes and he wants an hour.
Well, let's just try 5 minutes.
Still the friends of Yalabat.
So where's the whiteboard?
But what made you dive into or try Yalabat out?
I like to listen to anything from Singapore, so I think it was probably one of your interviews I really like your interviews, and I've been quite inspired by media businesses in Singapore recently. I think growing up, like in high school, there was a sense that there isn't really an alternative media, but there is, and there's you guys are doing great things. It's really nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, have you recommended us to anyone of your friends in London?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
A little bit.
I more tell them, they're long episodes. I'll tell you what, if there's anything good, the interviews are good. I tell them
That's a terrible sell.
No, but I tell them to check out the interviews. Those are the ones that.
And which
really
interview
like.
stood out for you?
The one I listened to recently, the Mr. Toilet one.
Oh, Jackson.
Jackson.
There was also was there Banyan Tree or something?
Ho Kwon
like this?
Bing.
Yeah, that's the one. Those are really nice.
Okay.
So
But,
what do you do when you're listening to the
I
podcast?
just walk. So I walk through this park in London. It's called Regent's Park.
Okay.
And I walk through it to UCL, which is where I study.
I see.
So it's about 40 minutes.
So you listen to the interviews. That means you don't give a shit about the regular
No, I
episodes.
do listen. I like Tell You First as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Tell You First, which is our podcast about, lesser known things in Singapore, right?
Yeah. So I mean, you have 2 minutes left.
Oh my god.
We're counting. So like, how often do you come back to Singapore?
About twice a year, actually.
And you
Twice
come
a
back because you have family here? Or?
That's right. Yeah.
You grew up here?
Yeah, I grew up here. Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing about London that you feel is different from Singapore?
I feel like London sometimes feels like it hasn't been discovered yet. It's really empty. And part of the reason is I feel like everyone who's in London is like some rich kid's son or daughter. Because
they're not PhDs.
I mean, I'm kind of funded by the UK government, right? So I have like some way to be there. But yeah, the cost of living is crazy, and it just feels like it's this party, but like a bit exclusive. But at the same time, there's a lot to learn there. In many ways, it's just what Singapore isn't in many ways, and so you go there, you pick all that up, and then.
So what have you realized about yourself as a Singaporean the more time you spend in London?
Man, so when I got there, so I've been in the UK for 7 years, right? And like when I got there, I was the Singaporean mindset of like grades and jobs and internships, and that just like I've lost that completely now. Now when I come back to Singapore, I'm intimidated by my peers who are still in that rat race mindset. I've chilled out so much.
I mean, the fact that you're here on a weekday night, a school night, well done, man.
But how does a PhD in quantum computing get intimidated by a Singaporean with a normal job? Huh?
You see, PhDs are really long. So I've been doing this is my 4th year. And so like, and there's only one deadline. You've got to hand in your PhD at the end. So no one's checking what I'm doing every day.
So I guess you are studying from home at this time because it's
I'm not even in the country. I'm doing my PhD. My PhD is in London.
Is it a term break or like?
No, I'm just here.
Oh, you're just here. Fuck yeah, man.
It's PhD from home.
And isn't part of quantum mechanics where you can't figure out where the electron is in the cloud until
it's all the way here in Singapore.
Yeah, so you are like an electron, right?
No, that's true. It wouldn't be a PhD in quantum if I wasn't in 2 places at the same time.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your advisor, I mean, I'm guessing your advisor's probably looking for you in London, and that's why you are not there now, because he's observing you.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a nerd joke. Yeah.
The Schrodinger's cat.
So you were pretending earlier, both of you.
Pretending what? Sorry?
When you didn't understand quantum.
No, I really don't understand that.
I mean, I don't.
I really don't.
It's just those are the 2 things. If you talk to us for like 2 more minutes, we got nothing else to say.
But I mean, he's already the most interesting person amongst 3 of us. Really.
Come on.
Yeah.
And he's gone 52 seconds over 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well done. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
Josh.
man.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Dude, that was awesome. Thank you.
I'm definitely going to put that on LinkedIn. Like Yalabat, listened to by quantum computing PhDs.
And then
Parliament and quantum computing PhDs. That's a feather in the cap, man. Wow.
Yeah, man. But we can resume.
Yeah.
Countdown.
Yes. We were where we at.
6.
We were going from 6 to 5. Yes. So what was the number 5 most important topic on Yalabat this year? Episode 499. Oh, this one riled a lot of feathers. Should Taylor Swift belong with Singapore exclusively, and should NS Men be paid a salary?
So the first non-political episode.
Yeah, wow. I mean, Taylor Swift is
Quite
quite political in Singapore, right?
in what way?
I mean, she's powerful. She's very powerful.
Yeah.
She moves elections and votes and stuff like that as well, right?
Really? You think she would influence the election?
No, I mean, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She endorsed.
I don't think a lot of people got that.
Yeah. She endorsed Kamala Harris, and look where it turned out.
Oh, that's true.
But anyway, but this one was about Taylor Swift being in Singapore for 6 shows exclusively.
Yeah.
That means we cut out all the other neighbors, all our Southeast Asian neighbors from having Taylor Swift on.
Yeah.
And that angered a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And this episode also angered a lot of Taylor Swift fans as well.
Yeah. And I mean, the extracts on TikTok also got us a lot, scolded a lot. Because I think our anger was that everybody was shitting on the Singapore government, but nobody was shitting on Taylor Swift's team. Because she made the decision to be exclusive. But you know why this is also significant given that it's December 12th today or not?
Why?
Because the last concert of Taylor Swift happened on December 8th.
Oh, yeah, the end of the
That was
Eras
the end
tour.
of the Eras tour.
Yeah. That's right.
That happened in Vancouver.
Yeah. How many people here actually went to Taylor Swift's thing? Just to see a show of hands. Okay,
Oh,
a handful.
shit.
Yeah, I would say about,
So clearly Taylor Swift listeners don't listen to Yalabat.
They don't, just a couple of old boomers like complaining about a young woman. That was one of the comments, literally. People were saying that we were old male boomers complaining about a powerful woman.
Exactly.
Correct.
You know that there's been so much talk about the Eras tour. I think it broke $2 billion in sales.
Yeah.
But it's not the most attended to concert ever, no?
In Singapore?
In the world.
In the world?
Yeah.
You're comparing to like the Pope's ceremony or...
No, as in anyone who's had a concert tour over a number of years. I thought she was going to be number one, but it's not.
Michael Jackson.
No, it's Coldplay.
Coldplay.
Yeah, because their current tour has been running since 2022.
Oh, that's right. This
What
doesn't
kind
end.
of fuck tour is that? That's your job.
It's like the Korean War. It just keeps going on. Forever. Longest war ever.
Can you imagine you work at a company for 3 years, you're like, I'm just still on my tour, you know?
Wow, never ends, huh?
Yeah,
Cool,
never
cool.
ends.
And we added 6 to it as well.
6.
right?
But like, who do you think is going to be on the roster for next year?
Next year. I mean, little fun fact that Don actually pointed out. Lawrence Wong actually put up his Spotify rap thing on his Instagram, right? Recently.
Yeah.
There's one band in there that everyone's looking forward to seeing next year. And that band is none other than Oasis. So Lawrence Wong likes Oasis.
Yeah.
But that means Tong Tong needs to get to work.
Can you imagine? Tong Tong opens up Instagram and is like, fuck, I need to go talk to Oasis now.
Erasure, okay lah, can lah, old act possible. Oasis, what?
That Noel guy is supposed to be an asshole. Oh shit, man. Can we just get Taylor again? So I mean, Oasis would be damn cool if they can come.
Yeah.
I would totally go for that.
If you can get tickets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's the hard thing. In Singapore now, we are like a concert destination. You know, we've brought I think Taylor Swift and Coldplay brought almost like 400 million to our economy. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. But you didn't go for any concerts this year, lah. As in none of the big concerts.
I did. Ed Sheeran.
Oh, you did go to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah.
That was awesome.
But yeah, it was a lot of concerts now.
I mean, I think the strategy to get tickets is make friends with people who have time on their hands to queue up. Because that was my strategy for Coldplay.
Okay.
And some friends helped to get the tickets.
So basically, you're a free rider, lah.
I mean, I've been friends with them for a long time, but when they offered, I'm like, sure. And
Bruno Mars, you went as well, right?
Bruno Mars and yeah.
But that was pre-Aperture, right?
Pre-Aperture.
So there was no Aperture.
No, there was no Aperture. But Bruno Mars, I don't know how many of you went for this concert in addition to the concert he did a few years ago. The one a few years ago was shit. It was absolute shit. But this concert was really good. And the previous one was at the indoor stadium. This was at the National Stadium.
I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the second topic was about whether NS men should be paid a salary. I think this was brought up in Parliament by Gerald Giam, saying that, all NS men should be given like a minimum of 1,600 as a qualifying salary.
Yeah. And also there were some movements, I think in Taiwan, where they quadrupled like the conscripts' salaries as well. So a lot of people are discussing, hey, should we do that in Singapore? Should we multiples of what it is now?
Yeah. But I mean, this whole NS thing, I don't know, I can imagine if the general workforce wants to work from home more, army must be a pain in the ass for them, more so than it was for us.
Army, you meaning what?
Having to go to army.
Or having to go to army.
For NS, to NS. Because I think last time, there was no real Instagram, there was no real social media, so you don't know how other people around the world your age are living. But now, if you have to go, can you imagine how sucky it'll be?
But conditions also better, lah, right? Nowadays in national service.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. You actually get 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, cannot use vulgarities and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, less. There's a bit less.
Oh, I've
sure.
heard that there's an app that NSFs can just complain, just a button away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. There's something like that.
But you'll get punished for using the app, lah. Is it? You have to download it, but don't use it. Is it?
No, I think it's one of those now I think the power is in the hands of the NSF,
correct,
not the instructors,
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a very, very big topic also, lah. To talk about.
Yeah.
But shall we look at the next one?
Yes. So on to number 4. Pritam Singh's trial.
Yeah.
I think it's a title of the year.
I mean, the second topic actually was way more fun. Yeah.
I mean, the context of the first one is that, I think we mentioned we did go to the state court to attend the trial.
Yeah.
We spoke about it a bit on the podcast, but if you didn't listen to that, I mean, maybe you can just run through what it felt like going to the state courts.
No, so we were planning to go for 3 dates for Pritam Singh's trial.
Yeah.
The opening day, and then the second day, I think the lawyer fell sick.
Yeah.
Pritam's lawyer fell sick, so we missed that. And then the third day, they completely just canceled. They ended the trial by then already.
Yeah.
So we ended up only going for the first day.
Yeah, first day. We didn't see Pritam Singh take the stand. We saw Raisa Khan.
Xia Xue was there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other luminaries.
But I mean, before I went, I thought, you know what you imagine the court to be, wooden, furniture everywhere. People take the stand. This felt like a university lecture hall. There was no terracing, so everybody was a single height. And you could barely see the people on the stand.
Yeah.
And it was just a very weird experience because the opening statement was fucking long. So you don't get any of that intense debate that you would imagine. I think we just went on a bad day.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, when you listen to this episode, you realize that, there were certain things we couldn't say also, right?
Yeah.
The trial was ongoing. We could talk about things like how Pritam's lawyer was very good looking. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
His suit, the inner lining.
The Giga Chat.
Giga Chat. Juma Boy.
Yeah, and Andre Juma Boy.
Yeah, my boy Juma Boy. Yeah. Good looking dude.
What Man Boy?
Juma Boy.
Yeah.
My boy Juma Boy. Oh, my boy Juma Boy. Yeah. Wow, too excited. Yeah, we talked about sitting next to Xia Xue. The whole thing.
No, and the thing you said just now about the second day, we were supposed to meet, but then we found out when we were there that someone fell sick, and it was none other than your boy Juma Boy.
Yeah.
He fell sick, which felt very surreal because you would think that, court, how can people fall sick? But he literally fell sick in the morning, went doctor, got MC, and they're like, we can't do the trial today.
Yeah,
which struck me as these are still jobs for them.
Yeah.
It might seem very high stakes and all, but it's still a job line. If someone falls sick, then they'll go home.
You can't work from home, right? You can't,
Yeah, you can't work from home. You can't work from home, Yeah. But I mean, the trial, I think now the next thing is it's set for February, right?
Yeah, the next thing is set for February.
Yeah, and that will be the charges,
I am not a lawyer, which is, I think the acronym is IANO. I'm not a lawyer. So I don't really know.
That's really an acronym?
Yeah. Online. You guys know, right? Online, if you want to just say that
Dude, everyone's shaking their head, no?
When you just want to tell people, don't trust my legal advice, you just write IANO. Yeah.
And where would you write that?
Before you write anything, you just type IANAL. I am not a lawyer. And then people will be like, oh, okay, so we don't trust his advice so much.
Okay, so everybody go home and try to write it in a message and let us know how people respond. You type that way in WhatsApp or Facebook
Reddit
or LinkedIn?
and all these places.
Reddit.
Yeah. I troll these places.
You try on LinkedIn.
Try on LinkedIn. Okay.
Then just
okay. I know, but I hung out with a PhD in computer science, quantum computing.
With 60 other people in the room.
Correct.
But I mean, speaking of that sort of sentiment, the second topic you said was more interesting.
That horny vice principal.
Yeah. Why?
I think it really triggered a lot of discussion about how Singaporeans flirt with each other. We got a real inside look into how two cheating spouses, right, were WhatsApping each other and the kinds of things they were WhatsApping to each other. Right?
Sexting, basically.
Sexting, but it's Singaporean sexting. Right?
Yeah.
So it was really quite a different level of sexting.
So like how? You can give the lowdown.
I mean, the context was that it was a vice principal of a school who had an affair with a parent of one of his students.
Yeah.
And I think he was telling her certain parts of the body that he wanted to put his tongue on, right?
Yeah.
But he spelled those parts of the body wrongly,
Yes.
which, given you are vice principal, is probably the worst sin that you can commit.
He added another letter at the end, right?
Yeah, an L at the end.
L at the end.
And
he also recapped a summary of their discussion on how they would treat each other.
Yeah. No,
very organized.
Yeah, and a lot. It was funny because we really dug into the story. He was ex-military. So he was literally conducting an after-action review of the afternoon that he spent with this person, you see.
I see.
So, yeah, in fact, Rice also wrote an article about how Singaporeans flirt and why we are so bad at flirting. But when you read the text and everything, what do you feel about it?
I mean, it was a very organized way of cheating. But it was quite funny because there was one thing, I think they were debating even when he can stick his tongue on that part of hers.
Yeah.
And she did it after PSLE.
Right. And then he understood. The crazy thing is he understood straight away. It's like there was no hey, what do you mean? No, that's what Singaporean flirting is. You say after PSLE, okay, I understand.
No, and for context, she was not taking the PSLE. It was her son taking the PSLE. Yeah. So I mean, it was like, what was his response? Response
to what?
The saying after PSLE. Then he had one iconic response.
No, I think that was the lady who said, if you like it, then
okay,
I'll do. Okay, law. Yeah.
So
okay. There's someone who also spent a lot of time reading the text.
Hey, but it's after PSLE now.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of parent-teacher meetings going on after PSLE. Parent vice principal meetings. But I mean, that's why it was such an interesting thing, because people were even digging to how much a vice principal earns after he's parachuted in from the military and all that. Wow. I spent a whole weekend just reading it.
The wormhole.
Sorry. I wasn't around that weekend because I was reading all those stuff.
All those times he said he was reading about parenting methods, Oh,
it's parenting, right? It's parenting.
Oh, it's parenting.
After PSLE
first. No matter
always,
what the
always
deal.
prioritize your kids' education, right? Such an important thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Shall we move on to the next one?
To the top three.
Yeah. Oh, wow, top three already.
Top three.
Awesome. Yes. It's me, is it?
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Top three. And at number 3, alamak, again, WP's Pritam Singh charged with lying and debate about Singapore's work culture.
Similar to the previous episode.
Correct. Yeah, but this one was I think when it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out.
Charged,
I think this was maybe after we went.
No, this is really early on. This was the early stages when we didn't know exactly what he was being charged for. Yeah.
And then they set the court dates and all that.
Yeah, all that.
I see.
Pritam Singh took up a lot of airtime this year.
This year.
Yeah.
And I mean, the debate about Singapore work culture in some way is about remote working and the number of hours. I think the context of that was there was a Reddit thread where people were saying, how can I get used to 44 hours of working a week?
Yeah, and it's funny because it was someone who just entered the workforce. So a very young person, maybe around the same age as some of you. First week or first month on the job, he was already saying he can't take it already.
Yeah.
44 hours a week. He wants to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And then it triggered a lot of discussions about how work culture in Singapore really is like that. Like what Shash mentioned just now. Everyone's like the rat race and all that, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm guessing even in London, it's the same, no?
Rat race?
Not in school.
Okay. I mean, he's here on London time. It's like Thursday 1 p.m.
He's studying in London right now. That's true.
Yeah.
So I mean, we know the story of Pritam. Next year probably going to have more chapters.
Yeah, more chapters.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on to number 2.
Yes.
And number 2 is PM Lawrence Wong takes over. And Tan Chuan Jin masterclass draws flag.
Yes.
So I think this was right after Lawrence Wong took over? When he was designated PM?
Designated PM. No, right after it took over. Oh wait, this is the ceremony. Yes.
Oh, this was the ceremony.
Yeah, the ceremony.
Yeah.
The swearing in ceremony of our new Prime Minister, Lawrence Wong.
Yeah. And that was at the Istana.
Correct.
Where people were sweating and all.
What do you remember about that?
I mean, it was one of those things that I don't know how many of y'all saw the screenshots or the videos, but it looked like it wasn't the most comfortable place to be because it was outdoors, and I think people were wearing jackets, and I think Jameis was the only one who undid his tie.
Yeah.
And
he did 2 gaffes that day. One was the tie.
Yeah.
People said that his tie was too low.
Yeah.
Then the second thing was that he put his hand on his heart when singing Majulah Singapura. And then people called him out for that. That's
why?
That's your Western civilization, Western American culture you're bringing to Singapore. In Singapore, we only we say the pledge with our fist on the heart, or in army you salute when sing Majula Singapura. But nothing more. Or you can cry lah. You can cry.
You can cry. You
Yeah,
can
that's
cry.
okay. Cry is okay. But no hand on the heart. No hand on the heart. Yeah.
You can cry. And then we also found out like how many of them are religious, right? When they were swearing in.
Yeah.
Like and especially Catholic or Christian lah.
Yeah.
Because there was a number of Bibles that were on display.
Yeah. And all of them had to shout out their names at the same time. So that was quite funny. When they were all swearing in together, there was that whole thing. I, name and
IC number.
and IC number or what.
Yeah.
Then they had to shout that. They didn't have to shout IC number, no, right? Now PDP,
I don't think so. Why the fuck would they shout
Sorry.
IC number?
That's PTSD
Then
from
they
my
take out
army
Sing
days.
Pass, like approve and all.
That's PTSD from my army days. I, NRIC rank and name,
Oh, that's true. For a while I was like, they shouted NRIC number. No,
but they were just shouting out their names. I, Lawrence Wong.
All together like unison.
So that was quite funny.
I mean, a nice contrast was that a fallen member of the PAP was our second topic.
I think what we said was, one member was being sworn in, another member was being sworn at.
That's true. So for context, there was this corporate training center that put out an ad for a masterclass in leadership. And it was being taught by Tan Chandrin. And I think when it went viral on Reddit, people thought it was fake. But it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And it was not a cheap course. I think it was $1,000 or almost $2,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just weird that he will be teaching something on leadership.
Leadership and also about gaining trust.
Oh, that was part of the...
Yeah, it was one of the KPIs. Like you would learn how to gain trust of people. Yeah.
I mean,
you learn how to win hearts and minds.
In some way, he can deliver on two of those three things.
He does. He delivers everything okay, but trust not so much, right?
I mean, he won the trust of someone in parliament.
One person, but betrayed the trust of a whole nation, right?
True. But I mean, he also managed to, keep it going for 2 years despite pressure from, PM Lee, ex-PM Lee himself.
Correct. He is stubborn that way, yeah.
I mean, I got a chance to go for the course, I would actually go.
Yeah, but it was taken down right after the post went viral.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the big debate that we had here was how long do we want to bear a grudge with someone, a public figure who screwed up, in a very public way, right?
Yeah.
Like, is he not allowed to give courses on leadership based on stuff he had done before he cheated and all that, right?
Yeah.
Is he allowed? Like, I remember you had a very strong opinion about it.
I mean, for me, no lah. I don't think it'll take a damn long time for him to do a class on leadership. But if he was doing a class on multitasking or acting or manipulation or negotiation, dude, that would be great, man. Seduction. Seduction.
The game.
Those kind of classes, really fit his brand.
Yeah, master class.
Running also? Running,
running also.
Running.
Ironing his PAP uniform. I think he was very good at that. Keeping it white, keeping it whiter than white.
Bleaching course,
Bleaching.
Like how much bleach to put for different clothes and all. So those sort of courses, totally, he can have a whole slew of classes to teach. But leadership, a bit of a stretch.
Okay. Next time when the course comes up again, let's go and sign up for it.
Quickly.
Fastest fingers first.
Fingers first.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was number 2.
Number 2. Wow. That means we are at number 1, the most discussed or most hotly followed topic of the year on YLB. And that number 1 is...
Oh, shit. Oh, there. Thank you, Tristan.
Oh, how could we get past the night without talking about this man?
Yeah, I think this was the most watched and most listened to by a mile.
By a mile, yeah.
But why? Why do you think by a mile?
Because this particular episode was not the point where he actually pleaded guilty. It was the point where he actually was charged, right? And he just said he was going to fight everything, and he said he was not guilty. And also, there was a lot of things that were coming up about what exactly he did, right? Do you remember what kind of things he did?
I mean, he went for a lot of musicals. He had One Night in Doha, which is the title of our upcoming TV series.
Yeah.
He got a lot of wine and whiskey. He got a Brompton bike.
Yeah.
What else did I miss?
That's quite a lot of it. I think the funny thing was when you listen to that episode, right? We talked about how a lot of information was just coming in drips and drabs, right? Of course, from the court, yes. But then I think MTI, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, put out a statement. I think Ong Beng Sing's side also put out something. So I think by the end of the day, when we were doing research for this, I was just exhausted. There's so many musicals I never even knew existed. I had to go and research what is this musical
football
about.
games also?
Football games, yeah. Which match is this and things like that. And what alcohol, how much is this alcohol and things like that. So I was exhausted by the end of the day. I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
But that's why I think people wanted to listen to this, because we did all the dirty work. Like, let's go and, what is this Kinky Boots musical? Is it some porno thing,
Kinky Boots?
Yeah, there was a musical called Kinky Boots.
Kinky Boots.
Yeah, Kinky Boots. What do you hear?
Kiki Boots.
Kiki Boots. Oh, sorry. Kinky Boots.
Kinky Boots.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was quite crazy. I forgot how long that list was and how many things that we had to go through in that podcast.
And also, I think, I don't think, maybe many of us were not even born yet, the last time someone was tried for corruption, which was 1967, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just felt like, oh shit, this is something surreal. And it felt like, and this is when he said, no, I'm going to contest the charges, right? Because when he finally, pleaded, they managed to reduce the number of charges, right? That felt like a bit of a, if you're anticipating a fight, right, that was a bit of a letdown. Whereas this one was like, you know what, I'm going to take you all on.
Yeah, and he wrote what I think was the world's worst resignation letter, where he basically, they say resignation letter, you don't burn the bridges or that. He basically told Lee Hsien Loong, hey, I'm going to resign here, but I'm telling you, I'm going to fight all the charges and I'm innocent. I'm going to prove it.
But how would you compare that to Tan Chuan Jin's resignation letter?
Oh.
Where he was like, I sorry if I said something, but, I'm leaving.
Yeah, but I say this is world's worst because it came back to bite him later. I think in court, they said that it obviously shows no contrition on his part, the way he wrote that letter.
Yeah.
And we also, very funnily, we speculated how long the trial would take.
Yeah.
And we literally said that the trial would probably could take years to complete.
And we were planning to go for it.
Yeah, we were planning to go for it and everything. Yeah. So it really was, we were really blindsided by how it actually turned out. Right? For those who don't know, it was basically less than 1 day, right? One day of trial, right? Yeah.
I mean, I still think that remember I said he has that villain look in a movie.
Correct, yeah.
You look at the picture. he looks like he could be a boss in prison.
Yeah, those of you who listen a lot to this, and I've spoken to Harish about this before. I find his fixation in people's bodies, like especially all these politicians and all. He was talking about how fit they look below the suit.
Who else have I mentioned?
A lot. People who listen to, they can vouch for it, I'm sure. I'm just saying that it always struck me as like you're like the Galileo of like politicians' bodies. You can see.
I just imagine Iswaran like that, just like that.
Yeah. You're always able to like tell how cut they are.
No, it's just visually. You look at them. They have a stature. Some of them don't have. When you go to Parliament, you can actually see them walk out and their gait and demeanor. It's just part of the whole package,
So you're looking for six pack. Really, how tight they are.
No, I'm just saying,
makes me feel weird. Yeah.
No, because part of the thing that we saw in the news so much was how they walk from the time they get off the car up the steps of the High Court.
Yeah.
Then compared with Pritam, then there's all these comparisons. You can tell a lot by people's walk.
I know, it's just that every time I'm trying to focus on like what he did, and like what he did wrong and the moral and ethics of it. Then you tell me, wow, look at him, I bet he has a six-pack under.
I did not say that.
Then suddenly I have to think of them how they look naked. Like, out of nowhere, suddenly I have to think of how a person looks naked, and it's just very disturbing.
No, it's a whole package. Because you are covering what they do, I cover the other part of what you see.
I see.
If you didn't cover what they do, then I would definitely cover that.
Yeah. And we also speculating what he did in Doha, right?
Yeah, correct.
We talked about one night in Doha.
Yeah.
Anyone knows what he did in Doha? Yes, that's right. World Cup.
Yeah,
exactly.
World Cup. Yeah.
So that it came out later that he flew to Doha for one night to attend the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
So this man flew to Doha for one night and probably saw Messi and Ronaldo on the same night in Doha.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Crazy, man. But that's why it was so interesting, because of what he did, what he was being charged, and the amount of things he did in comparison also to his salary. So next year he'll definitely be released.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know when.
We'll see if he goes to F1 after that. That's the big one.
He just enters on F1.
Yeah.
F1 car. But so those were the top 10 most talked about episodes.
Yeah.
And I think there was only one non-political episode.
Correct.
So going forward, we are probably going to be steeped in politics as well.
Yeah.
But now we end off with the thing that we always end off with.
Yes, the one
is
Shiok thing.
The one Shiok thing.
One
All
Shiok
right, Terrence, do you have a one Shiok thing, man?
I love watching musicals at the end of the year. I haven't watched Wicked, right? But there's one musical that I'm really looking forward to. It's called Better Man. It stars Robbie Williams from Take That, as a monkey who's trying to make it in the music business. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
They literally have a CGI monkey that is trying to make it big as a rock singer.
Oh, so it's a movie musical.
Movie musical that stars has all of Robbie Williams songs in the soundtrack. And so actually that was a one Shiok thing before, but actually the new song that just came out from that soundtrack, Forbidden Road, it's now out and it's just been nominated for Golden Globe for Best Song for Motion Picture. Yeah. So Forbidden Road by Robbie Williams. That's my one Shiok thing.
Anyone else heard of it? Forbidden Road?
No, it's too new.
Shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big Take That fan. I've said it a million times.
And you went when they came in this year?
Yeah, I came to watch that concert. I was like, I went alone, I was like the only guy amongst all these like 40-plus-year-old women. I mean 40-year-old plus men amongst 40-plus-year-old women. Yeah, but I felt very at home with everyone just celebrating. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
and you knew he went for Take That, lah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an off pass to do that. Yeah, alone.
Yeah. Cool. So my one Shiok thing is a video by Corridor Digital. Okay. Anyone know Corridor Digital? So I mean, they are a big channel on YouTube. They were quite the inspiration for us since we started YouTube. They do really cool videos that are CGI based, but also very funny lah. So they did a recent video. Attack on Titan. There's this show, this comic that got turned into a TV series. It was a Japanese manga. Anime.
Yeah.
Anime. So it's about this time where humans live amongst like titans that live outside. So these huge giants So they did a video for the POV of Luigi from Mario and Luigi becoming a titan. Running around a city, and it looks so insane, like the POV of running around, crushing cars, waving to people, and it's funny So it's a video on YouTube we've been following them for a long ass time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool, man.
Cool. Wow.
So that's the end of episode 600.
Yeah, in front of 60 people for SG60.
62.
62.
60 people plus two stragglers. Two stragglers, yeah. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much, everyone, for coming down. We hope that you continue to listen for next year as well. We want to do more live shows like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, remember to follow us on social media.
Yeah.
Yalabat everywhere. Shout out to Don, who is a stand-up comic. You can follow him on social media also at Don't Say One. A big shout out once again to Dom and Tristan, who have been a great part of the team this year. And any parting words, Terrence?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. All right, so we can end off, I guess. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll talk to you all soon. Woo!